Today, we're diving into a future that's already taking root all around us, the sustainable city. And, this isn't just about sticking a few solar panels on a roof or painting some new bike lanes. We're talking about a complete reimagining of how we live, how we work, and how we connect, not just with each other, but with the planet itself.
So let's just picture this for a second. A city where the air is always clean, where your commute is silent and totally efficient. A place where nature isn't just in a park, but it's thriving on every single corner. Now, does that sound like something out of a sci-fi movie, a distant fantasy? Or is this the world we're actually, right now, building for ourselves?
Well, it's a question we really need to answer, and fast. Because by the year 2050, and that's not too far off, a staggering 68% of the world's entire population is projected to be living in cities. We're talking billions of us, all sharing the same urban spaces.
And that brings us to, well, our current situation. Let's call it our urban predicament. The very cities that we once built as these incredible symbols of human progress, they're now facing a really critical test.
The truth is, many of our modern cities have become ground zero for our biggest challenges. We're talking choking pollution, traffic that never ends, and this growing feeling of being disconnected from the natural world. They're literally straining under their own weight.
And the scale of this, it's just massive. Get this. Our cities are responsible for a whopping 80% of all greenhouse gas emissions, and they do that while taking up just a tiny, tiny fraction of the Earth's land. That is one heck of an urban footprint.
But this isn't just some abstract environmental problem. It's deeply social. It hits our health, it affects equality, and it impacts our basic quality of life. Our cities are basically screaming for a different way forward.
But here's the good news, and it is really good news. We are not starting from scratch here, not at all. There's actually a really clear and effective blueprint for transforming our urban spaces into something way, way better.
And this blueprint, it really rests on 5 key pillars that all work together. We've got green mobility to completely change how we move, abundant green space to change how we breathe and live. It's all powered by clean energy and food, managed with zero-waste systems, and the whole thing is optimized by smart technology. See how they all connect? Each one supports the others.
So let's just zoom in on that first pillar for a second, green mobility. At its heart, it's all about breaking our dependency on the private car. It means creating public transport that's not just green, but cheap and easy for everyone to use, and building cities where walking or hopping on a bike feels like the most natural, safe choice.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But this isn't just an idea on a piece of paper. Let's take a look at the real-world pioneers, the cities that are already putting this blueprint into practice and showing us a new way to live.
Our first stop is Gothenburg, Sweden, and this city is just a fantastic example of a place that has thrown itself into reinventing public transport for a greener future.
I mean, their commitment is seriously impressive. A full 65% of their public transportation now runs on renewable energy. They've got a growing fleet of over 200 electric buses zipping around the city. This isn't a side project. It's the core of how they think about getting around.
Okay, so from green ways to move, let's talk about green places to be. For that, we're heading to Vienna, Austria. While some cities are in a race to build the next tallest skyscraper, Vienna has made a powerful commitment to building something else entirely.
And you have to hear this. 50% of the entire city is green. I'm not talking about a few parks scattered around. I mean that half of Vienna is dedicated to parks, to forests, even to farmland right inside the city limits.
And the payoff for that is just profound. Of course, all that green space cleans the air and boosts biodiversity, but it also creates these amazing spaces that are proven to enhance our mental health. Plus, it supports 135 local farmers markets, so residents can buy fresh food grown right in their city. It's brilliant.
All right, our next pioneer, Copenhagen, Denmark, shows us how to get really smart with clean energy. They've become a world leader not just by making sustainable power, but by completely rethinking how we use it. The ingenuity here is just remarkable. Okay, so Copenhagen captures the extra heat that's generated from making electricity, and instead of letting it go to waste, they pipe it around the city to warm 90% of people's homes. Then in the summer, they do the opposite, using cold water from the harbor for an incredibly efficient cooling system. It's all about seeing energy as a cycle, not a one-way street.
For our last pioneer, we're hopping over to San Francisco in the United States. This is a city that has basically declared war on waste. And you know what? It's winning.
Through some really bold policies and a ton of public education, San Francisco now diverts 77% of all its waste away from landfills. That is 1.6 million tons of stuff being recycled, composted, and reused every single year. And their ultimate goal? Zero. Sending absolutely nothing to the landfill.
So when you look at these cities, you see it, right? You see what's possible. They are literally laying the groundwork for tomorrow's world, and they're building that future today.
And this really gets to the heart of it. The goal isn't some cold, sterile, tech-heavy future. It's a future where technology and nature work together, in harmony. It's like the quote says, "In these cities, technology doesn't overpower nature, it enhances it." And believe me, this is not science fiction. Right now, as we speak, AI is being used to manage energy grids, predicting demand to prevent waste before it happens. Soon, we're going to see sidewalks that generate electricity just from our footsteps. And looking out a bit further, drones will be reforesting huge areas faster than any human team ever could.
But, beyond all the amazing tech, the ultimate goal is actually a pretty simple one. The future city has to be centered on people. It has to be inclusive and accessible for everyone, and it has to prioritize our well-being above everything else. It's about finally creating a world where we can live within nature instead of just paving over it.
So as we wrap this up, we're left with a final thought. The examples we've seen prove this can be done. The technology is here. The blueprint is clear. So really, the question isn't if sustainable cities will shape our future. The real question is, how soon will we decide to make it our reality?